Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Welcome to another episode of Travel Talk Live.
Woo-hoo!
I'm Vanessa McGovern.
Another episode.
I know. This is so exciting,
So proud of
right?
ourselves.
I am proud of ourselves. This is, I believe, episode 8. We are on a roll officially. I think we can say that.
Yes.
Right? And so if you're just joining us and you are new to this web show or webisode, this webisode is your first one, as we like to say. I'm Vanessa McGovern.
I'm Meredith Hill.
And we are with the Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs, also known as GIFT with an E, founded by, if you don't know about GIFT was actually founded in 2011 by Meredith Hill, our founder and president. And she'll talk a little bit, well, you'll hear if you've watched past episodes, and go to the homepage, travelbusinessu.com. You can learn all about the story of GIFT, and it's just a really inspiring story. And so at GIFT, we're all about really delivering amazing, relevant content that is helping travel business owners right now. And we deliver content in the subject matters of marketing and business mindset, personal development, and we're really delivering a lot of content that nobody else is teaching. And we birthed this Travel Talk Live out of this passion and this desire to share more about what we're doing with the larger travel industry, with the community at large.
To be a resource. Quite honestly, we just want to be a good resource for you guys.
We want to teach you what you need to know, because as Meredith has coined and said so many times on shows, in the last episode we talked a lot about it, there's too many hobbyists in our industry, and you've coined the term accidental hobbyists, because a lot of you don't want to be hobbyists. You didn't set out to be a hobby, but your 1099 or your tax return says another story. And we want to inspire you to think big and just tap into the amazing abundance and opportunity that exists in our amazing industry.
Absolutely.
Right?
I think you said it so well last week that as travel agents, it's not necessarily our fault that there are so many accidental hobbyists, because the way that we're taught is so archaic and so old school, and it has not moved or changed with the times. And that Vanessa said, we need radical change.
We need radical change. That's my new thing.
Travel agent
I've been saying that a lot lately, and I'm going to stick with it. And I feel like I don't want to offend or, upset other travel industry educators, but I'm kind of tired of walking on eggshells. We need radical change.
We need
radical
change. And that's what we're here to do.
I'm sorry, but a lot of travel industry educational outlets have delivered new changes, but in the form of the technology in which they deliver the content, but the actual content itself hasn't changed. And it's either just more product, more technology, more supplier-driven training, which you do need. But what you need more is client attraction, marketing, and business development training, which is what we're all about at the Global Institute for Travel Entrepreneurs. And today...
And a success mindset.
And success mindset. Oh my gosh, so important. Nothing matters unless you believe in your success. It all starts from that. And today we're going to get into a very marketing-heavy conversation.
Yes, very
So if you're
marketing-heavy.
new to Travel Talk Live, you're really going to love what we're going to share today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So,
all right. So
maybe we'll start there. We're looking down at our notes to see how we want to start that.
Let's start with the business tip of the week.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
We always have a business tip.
Business tip is to understand the difference between the two different types of marketing systems we recommend you have in place.
Number
one is list building,
which we'll get back to and describe.
And number 2 is relationship building.
So list building and relationship building. Write those two down.
Yeah, write those down.
Okay.
And in the Make Money Selling Travel Blueprint, our signature product, we teach that in order to have a well-oiled machine, client attraction machine,
leads constantly coming to you,
you need to have both systems in place.
Right.
You need to be list building and you need to be relationship building, because if you do one without the other, it's completely futile. Completely.
Yes.
And you can put a lot of time and effort and money into one or the other, but if you're not doing both, you're not going to get results. You're going to grow at the rate of a snail, which is very frustrating.
And a lot of travel business owners are frustrated.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's dig into these two segments.
Yes.
So list building. So what do we mean by list building? And so before we answer that question, let me share with you, Meredith and I have coached hundreds of travel business owners. And we can tell you unequivocally, emphatically, when we first start working with a travel business owner, especially one that's been in the industry for any period of time, we can determine the ultimate success, sustainable success, growth trajectory of the business by one very important indicator of that business. And that indicator is the email list. And so when we talk about list building, we are specifically referring to the aggregate amount of first names, last names, and good quality, don't go into spam, email addresses that you have amassed of potential prospects and ideal clients. That's your list. Now, many of you that have been in business for any period of time, you have a great host, you have a great consortium, you've got a great CRM, like Clientbase as an example.
Yeah.
You could have 100 clients or prospects all locked and loaded in a CRM. If you don't have the ability to hit send with all the different profiles and all the different moving parts, and you can't hit send on an email to all those people, that's a problem.
Yep.
And some of you are opted into your host or consortia's marketing programs, and that's great. And we're going to talk about that, if you want to complement it or whatever. But you have to be able to regularly communicate with your list, and that goes into number 2. But you have to have the actual infrastructure to be able to hit send on an email that you craft with your language, with your words, with your brand, with your vibe. So ask yourself right now, take a little inventory. How many people, if you could hit send on an email right now with your brand, with your name, with your vibe, with your message, with your stories from your trips that you've curated, with your photos that you've taken on your last fam trip, whatever. If you hit send on an email right now, how many people are going to get it? Are we talking 20? Are we talking 200? Are we talking 2,000? How healthy is your email list?
Yeah.
It really that is just so integral. You are
it's the biggest blind spot.
Huge,
too.
because
it's our biggest blind spot in our industry, and when it comes to marketing.
And I know why.
And the reason why is because we get fed a lot of awesome, beautiful, wonderful marketing materials to pass on to our clients, to pass on to our list. Most of the time it's a physical mailing list, but a lot of times it's email list too.
Right.
So we get, the suppliers are doing it, your consortium is doing it, possibly even your host
they've
agency
invested
is doing
cajillions of
They've
dollars in
invested
it. Woo,
cajillions of
that's
dollars
lots
in
of money.
that. So you think when you get all this stuff and you're actually using it and passing it on to your clients, you're like, oh, check, my marketing's done, check. Check.
That's
I've got my marketing done. But it's only halfway done because you're not list building.
And
you're relationship building, and that's good. But you're not list building.
Your list supersedes everything else. And yet, I think one of the reasons why, as an industry, we don't pay attention to it as much comes down to the fact that, again, this goes back to why we need radical change in travel agent education, is because travel agent education doesn't empower you, the business owner, to view yourself as a marketer, as a business owner in the digital age.
So true.
We are a big fan of a podcast that we both share an affinity for at the moment, and he talks about this podcaster that we listen to, The Rise of the Digital CEO. And I think that's really why there's such a big blind spot with travel entrepreneurs, like James Wedmore. He's the podcaster. He talks about this all the time, because you as a travel business, you're too caught in the product training and the supplier training that you're not remembering that we're in the digital age, and you're a digital business owner. You're a business owner in the digital age.
Especially if you're from home.
So your email list is everything. It's more important than the webinar on whatever supplier is feeding you information that week. It's more important than learning the technology at your host. And this is what frustrates me. Sorry, I'm probably gonna get a lot of feedback here. Sorry, I'm gonna go there, Meredith. This is what frustrates me about the franchise model. Sorry, because people believe that if they buy that they're automatically getting a well-oiled machine business. But what is the really big missing ingredient? If you can have all the bells and whistles in the world, but if you don't have an actual person to email to say, I'm in business.
And if you're not growing it, right?
Now let's talk about that. That's the problem.
You might come to the table.
So let's talk
whether
about growing.
It's franchise or not, you might come to the table with an existing list. But if you're not growing you're going to die. Your business will ultimately die.
You got to use the tools. You got to actually email people. So you got to email them but you got to grow it. So what do we mean by growing?
Well, that's list building. That's what list building is. So that is any activity, whether it's online or offline, any activity where you are collecting a name and email address of someone that is an ideal prospect, not just anybody.
Under
you don't
the
want
correct
everybody's name and email
privacy
address.
laws.
You want a name and email address of someone that actually is what you're looking for.
Right, your ideal
in
client.
terms of their travel demands.
There's lots of ways to collect names and emails. There's like Meredith just said it perfectly. The two big categories here is offline and online.
Yes.
You know, offline is consumer shows. That's the biggest one, right? If you're a family travel expert, you want to go to family travel expos. You want to go to, you know, festivals, you know, like at the zoo or at your town or at the local swim meet, or the big one. I always see this one. I don't know why I'm thinking about this right now, but there's this big community here where we live in Mooresville. There's a lot of families that belong to this big, it's called Acro Fitness, this big studio. And I remember one year my son participated in it, and the whole time when I was waiting for his 2 minutes of fame, 30 seconds of fame across the stage, the rest of the time I was sitting there thinking, why isn't there a travel professional here? There were so many families in the lobby area just waiting and milling and waiting. I'm like, if you're a family travel expert, go to those. Like right now is dance recital season, right? Go get a booth with a dance club, you know, in a highly affluent neighborhood or area of your city. You know, go partner with a nanny agency. That's, you know, that could be even offline relationships, but even online, because if that nanny agency has an email list of their own, they could be emailing out their clients about, hey, we really recommend this family travel service. So that's, you know, you want to constantly be growing your list and meeting people and adding names.
Adding names.
Online.
But not just any name.
No, your
names
ideal
of people that
customer.
match who you're looking for.
Right. If you want to send people to do a river cruise, you know, bucket list, they just retired on the meat, you probably don't want to take out a booth at a dance recital. That's not where your ideal client is typically hanging out. So you got to be strategic. But then, because of the digital age, oh my goodness, it's never been a better time to be a business owner. You know, I hear so often how clients are like, I hear travel agents saying, but I just don't have an outgoing personality. I don't want to go have a booth. You know, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't like to network. I don't want to put myself out there. Well, guess what? If you're an introvert, there's never been a better time to be a business owner.
Absolutely. You don't have to go to those.
No, you can just build your list
you
with
can be
Facebook,
on
Facebook ads, Pinterest. You know, there's so many. YouTube. Well, maybe not, because you've got to actually talk with YouTube. But there are so many outlets digitally and online for you to grow your list.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, the options. You just
All
gotta
right,
decide
so
which one
let's
to
move to marketing system number 2, which is relationship building. So what is relationship building as a marketing system? That is a system where you are nurturing the relationship through engagement. And engagement means two-way conversation. Not just one way. Nurturing your relationship through engagement with the people on your list.
So, let's see who's guilty of this. How many of you, be honest, did a consumer show at some point and got a list from the show organizer? Maybe a bridal show is a perfect example, and you got the names and emails, and maybe you did put it into your email marketing system, okay, but you haven't talked to them since.
Right.
Be honest.
You've never communicated. You've got a whole stack of
business cards, all kinds of stuff.
You know,
that
throw it in a drawer. I used to do that.
If you are like, yes, Vanessa and Meredith, I confess, I have done this. You are in good company. Lots of people have done it, but that means that your blind spot is in number 2,
relationship building. Yes. And you can use systems so that you are relationship building on a systematic basis, right? A regular, consistent basis. And that's what I love about the systems that, you know, we teach and that are available to you, some for a subscription, some not. But it's, you don't have to remember to do it all the time if you systematize it. And just put it on autopilot.
Like, for example, Sandra McLemore, she's got married, a new name. She's still newlywed, is still in the first year. She teaches about Instagram, which, by the way, she's going to be teaching about Instagram on Travel Entrepreneurship Week, which is coming up. So go to travelentrepreneurshipweek.com. She recommends, and many members of our community use it, using a posting service called Later.com. So she'll schedule all her posts for Instagram one day a month, pretty much. And so when I'm on Instagram now and I'm seeing posts on her accounts and I'm like, that post is beautiful, it's genius, I love the image, I love the language, and she just picked a couple hours on one day of the month and scheduled all those posts out. And that's amazing, versus most of us are reacting to be like, what do I post? I'm stressed. I am guilty of that too.
So true.
I have yet to dive into Later. I've been thinking about doing it myself. So, but that's an example of a system for relationship building.
Yeah, exactly. Not having to worry about, trying to, what am I supposed to say this time? Yeah.
Because if you've
writer's block.
Yeah, and like a perfect example, and this leads into our member of the week is, so like walk us through, let's walk you through it. So, okay, you hear what we're saying. You go to a bridal show, you get the list, you get the names and emails, you start emailing, you talk, you use like conversational language in your email. You send some good follow-up emails, and one of the follow-up emails is inviting them to just follow you on Instagram. And then all of those people follow you on Instagram. And now you've got like these 20 awesome brides that are now following you on Instagram. You've got a perfectly curated feed. If you have Later, now you don't even have to worry about what those 20 new brides are going to see over the course of the next month, because you've already pre-scheduled it out, and they can just have a visual feast of your Instagram feed.
I like that.
Right? And just really get inspired. So this leads us to, right? Member shout out of the week. Who does this? I love her.
Awesome example of doing this right. And she's new.
Totally new. Like a year into the industry.
She just started a year ago. And she is nailing it, people. Yeah. Nailing it.
She's hitting it out of the park. So our member shout out of the week is new to the industry within a year, Amy Pearson Jensen of Smitten Honeymoons. Yay! Amy is
I actually think we should
amazing.
Give ourselves a little slap on the wrist, because she's not new. Why are we saying she's still new?
You're right.
We shouldn't keep calling her new.
And we just talked about that on last week's episode.
Last week we talked about that. Let's not tell that story anymore.
You're not new. You're not new anymore. No.
Sorry. Anyway, continue with Amy.
No. That was
She's
really
amazing.
Important reframe.
So, Smitten Honeymoons. If you want to see an example of someone doing this really well, especially when we get to the mindset tips, she does it all. She's doing everything that we recommend. Go check her out on Instagram. It's Smitten Honeymoons. She is so...
And
oh my gosh, I love her posts.
I know.
And even just like what she writes about. I mean, obviously her photos are just outstanding.
Very conversational, very relatable. And she takes her offline marketing. Like, for example, at a bridal show, she'll give away a really cute bag that says I do with like a ring on it or whatever, and she'll do it as a giveaway, and she'll then invite everybody to go to Instagram or her Facebook fan page, and she will then announce the winner on there. So then it's an incentive to get all those people that she just met over to her social media, because that in this case specifically for social media, she's using social media as a relationship building system so that she can keep the conversation going, keep the good vibes going. Now, on the flip side, furthering with Amy actually recently managed to land herself, and I'm not going to remember it right now, so forgive me, but if you scroll down her Instagram feed, you'll see she actually landed a guest blog spot on a very well-trafficked website for brides.
That's so
cool.
So
she was able to contribute content, and I believe she talked about what happens if you lose your passport when you're traveling, which is a great tip. And so she gave content to a website where her ideal clients are visiting brides, right? Because she wants to do honeymoons. And so in that case, those readers are then driven to social media as a result of, finding her that way. And in that instance, she's actually using social media as a list builder.
List builder, yeah.
Because then she's offering those new people, those new subscribers to her social media channel, the opportunity to go to her website, opt in for content, and guess what happens at that point? Then now she has her name and email.
Yep.
So now it's a list builder.
Yep.
So social media gets confusing and muddy because it can act as both.
It can act as both a list building tool and a relationship building tool. And I think so many people jump into social media, digital marketing without any concept of truly why they're there. I want you to get so clear on why you're there.
Yes.
I want you to get so clear on, okay, I have this many people on my list, and that's good. You know, like we said last week, come clean. Just take your head out of the sand and figure out where you are. There's zero judgment here. Even if you have 10 people on your email list,
it's okay.
It's a starting point. That's all it is. So get clear on where you are, get clear on where you want to be when it comes to your list. Have goals every single year for your list size and how much you want to list build.
I have a really cool example actually for list building. I was actually speaking with a client last week. I haven't actually shared this story with you. She's decided, she has a small list and she doesn't want to network, so she falls into that category. But she's decided that she loves astronomy. That's a special interest of hers, and she would love to put together trips for fellow
stargazing,
stargazing astronomy enthusiasts, right, to different places of the world where you can view the stars. But she didn't know what to do. And you know what's a really great tip for if you fall into this category, you have a specific special interest, you don't, or maybe even if you do like networking, but you geographically you live in a place where it's not really conducive to that. Guess what you can use as a list building tool for this is Facebook groups. There is a Facebook group for everything. While I was on the phone with her, we found like 10 Facebook groups, one of which had 20,000 members in the group. So she was going to join and she's going to build rapport, share good content, comment, engage, be visible, be present, be consistent, and then build a rapport with the admin for that group. And then when the time is right, and it is a long game because you got to nurture that relationship, you can present the idea of, hey, let's plan a trip. So you don't have to go to a consumer show. There's so many ways to build your list and very targeted with Facebook, with social media.
Absolutely. So, yay, Amy Pearson Jensen.
Good job, Amy.
We
love following you.
Just check her out. She does a great job. Everything is just oozing with a lovely, beautiful personality and her brand. All right, so I think
this
it's
is a really good segue
to move to
mindset
tip of the week.
Because you just said Amy does a really good job of loving. Right? We love what she does, and she just exudes a love for her brand. And that is exactly what the mindset is about.
The mindset tip of the week is don't be so cynical.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. I was expecting you to say, love on your people.
Love on your people. I think we have, as human beings, we have a natural fear or cynicism that when it comes to crowds and being around a lot of people, and there are people that don't want to network because I think they're so afraid of that one person that's going to annoy them, irritate them, insult them, criticize them, whatever it is, or just be annoying. And so you almost like sabotage your list building efforts and your marketing efforts because you're coming from a place of, I'm doing this because I'm supposed to, I'm doing this because I should, I'm doing this because, and I want you to come from a place of, oh my God, there are so many cool people out there. I can't wait to find the people that I'm going to just love so much. And I'm so lucky that I have found the people that I have found. They are amazing. I love my clients. I love the people on my list. They're amazing. If you can shift into a place of like, there are so many cool things. Like, I have the most amazing people on my list. And it's going to be so much fun to connect with them. It's going to be so much fun to get to know them. It's going to be so much fun to engage with these people. Love on them. Just love on them, love on them, love on them. Because it's going to come back 10,000-fold.
And here's
when you
another
do it that way.
One objection that I hear you get, and it goes into this. And if you have this attitude, if you adopt the attitude that Meredith is describing, then this is like you won't even have this objection. But how many times have you heard, "But Meredith, I don't want to email them weekly because I feel like I'm bugging them." I don't want to bug them.
People get bugged by the people that are emailing them from a place of get.
Yeah.
And if you shift into the place of loving on them, you're not going to be coming from a place of get. You're going to be coming from a place of give and love and share and fun. And let's have fun talking about stuff that you don't get to talk about at work, right?
Let's get
talk
inspired.
about travel.
Look at these amazing
and let's
images.
Engage and let's laugh and let's you know, have fun and let's be silly and so let's not take the world so seriously. So your question was, wait, what did you ask me?
Just reminding about what people always say, right?
Yes.
We don't want to bug them. Well, then they're focusing on because you had said, don't worry about that one or two people.
Yeah,
right?
Don't worry about the one or two people that might get annoyed.
They're not your people.
It doesn't matter. Your job is to just love on them, and when you come from that place, they are not going to be bothered, and if they are, let them just take themselves off your list.
And that's the problem is that people think, because we're not saying that if you adopt this attitude that people won't feel that way.
Yeah.
We're not saying that. What we're saying is have a little mental toughness and just insulate yourself and don't worry about the one or two people that may or may not have that attitude, because we find you get hyper focused on those one or two people and then you're missing out on the 100 people that are craving. They're in jobs that they're not feeling inspired by, and now all of a sudden you show up in their inbox with this beautiful sweeping image of Switzerland or the Lake Como or the Mekong River or the what's it called in Iceland, where you go and you take the bath in Iceland with all the fog coming out of it. I always see that image, or Machu Picchu under a fog. People want to be inspired and they want to hear your story. But you're so focused on that one person.
Yeah,
right?
You're so focused on, and you've got a bit of cynicism. We all do.
We all do.
Mm-hmm. And that you just kind of assume people are going to be,
not receptive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But believe they will.
Yeah.
It's like our
and if they're not, then it's not a good match, and that's okay.
Yeah. I love Melissa De Silva, president of Trafalgar. We've had the pleasure of interacting with her a few times. She's actually come to our live event, Book More Travel Workshop. She always says about, there's a lot of misconceptions and just judgments around the escorted vacation experience. And the number one objection she was saying, which we all know, which is but I don't want to travel with a bunch of people I don't know. What if I don't like anybody? Mm-hmm. And I love how effortlessly she just says, but what if you do?
But what if you do?
What if you do? So it's the same, what if one person doesn't like it? So what? What if 100 people do?
Yeah.
And you're not focusing on those 100 people.
Yep.
So in sum, we're talking about the importance of list building and relationship building.
Your marketing systems, you have to have both in place.
Two simultaneously.
Yes, exactly.
Simultaneously.
Exactly.
And how do you know if you're not doing a good job in list building? Is your list growing? Are you adding? It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And how do you know if you're not relationship building? It starts with your conversion.
Yes, it does.
What's your conversion? Sometimes, the reason why people don't buy from you, it just comes down to the age-old saying of people do business with who they know, like, and trust.
Absolutely.
And part of your job with relationship building is nurturing that know, like, and trust factor. And for some people, it takes an hour. For some others, it takes a year.
Yeah.
And you can't judge how quickly it takes to build a relationship with one person versus how long it takes. Think about people watching the show. There are members in our community that were reading your weekly e-zine.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's 5 years before they decided to pull the trigger on any kind of program.
That's so true.
But then there's others that find us on a Facebook ad, hop on a Travel Talk Live, and bam, they're members. Right?
Yeah.
They hear us and they like you like what we're saying, and you decide, all right, I'm going to give that gift membership a try.
All in.
Yeah, and it's all good. Everybody's at a different place of their journey, and you have to
True.
remember the same is true for your clients.
Yep.
Yes.
And love on them.
And love on your clients. You get to do this.
You get to do this.
We
Exactly.
love this topic. Enjoy the journey. And in speaking of enjoying the journey, we have enjoyed the journey over the last couple of days. This was pre-recorded for you as Meredith and I were traveling back actually today from the beautiful Boca Resort in Boca Raton, world-class property, and we were loving on our members in our host agency. So that's why we were not officially live, but of course we pre-record to show up on Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
And we're so excited to have delivered this topic for you. So if you liked what we talked about today, you got a really good nugget out of it, and we want to know. So please go ahead and press the like and the love button, and more importantly, add a comment here below and tell us what really stood out to you and what a big takeaway was. And lastly, remember, we've got a humongous event happening.
Yes.
Next week, June 18th through 22nd. It's our 3rd annual Travel Entrepreneurship Week. So important that you get registered. Go to travelentrepreneurshipweek.com to register. If you're registered, there's special bonuses. There's a private closed pop-up group for anybody registered where we have bonus content for you. And it's going to be a great week full of amazing content. We're going live right here on the fan page. So next Tuesday, we will not be doing Travel Talk Live in this format because you have the whole week of us. Every day on this fan page, we're going to show up at noon Eastern and 3 Eastern, Monday through Thursday, and then one more time on Friday. And so get ready.
Yep.
So get registered. Number 1, travelentrepreneurshipweek.com.
Yes. Awesome.
All right, everyone.
All right. Have a great week. Thank you for joining us today. Travel Talk Live.
Travel Talk
and
Live.
We'll see you on the next one.
And we'll see you next week. Travel Entrepreneurship Week.
Travel Entrepreneurship